Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new dark comedy horror film, The Radleys, and this is from director Euros Lynn and from writer Talitha Stevenson, and this focuses on the Radley family, led by Damian Lewis and Kelly MacDonald, with their children who, as it turns out, they're vampires, but their parents have been repressing it in hiding. And then when the fateful day when their daughter unexpectedly starts showing her vampiric nature, they have to try to fix things, including looping in a mystery twin brother, also played by Damian Lewis. And this film has a great dark sense of humor. I think Damian Lewis is like cool vampire brother certainly brings in a lot of that kind of charisma and energy with some good dynamics. There's a lot of sexy back and forth, especially between Lewis and MacDonald at points in the film. And in general, I think it has a nice, biting personality. Now, in terms of its vampire elements, I think it's a very interesting vampiric, sexual repression allegory, as Lewis's, default character is very, very reserved, and you can definitely tell that Peter and Helen, the parents, have not had sex in a long time. And there's an urge there in bringing in this other brother who's much more sexual and intense. And you have this yearning for all the characters for blood. And that aspect is interesting. And then there's also a lot of tensions, coming of age kind of elements with the teenagers and marital issues with the parents and how that navigates it. There's a former cop next door whose son's interested in the daughter, but then there are also that layer of he's a former cop and he's suspicious, and you have that kind of element. I will have to say that the overall narrative and where the story goes is very messy, very clunky in terms of how it all threads together, and it doesn't deliver the most impactful story, but thematically it has a lot of interesting things to process and explore, and through its characters some interesting ideas. I do think the performances, Lewis is doing two completely different characters and sells them both really well. Kelly MacDonald, love her. She's great in this as well. You have, Sophia DiMartino, Sylvie from the Loki series, who pops up as well as somebody, a friend in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And I think the young performers do a fine job. I think, the real standout is Lewis doing his, cool vampire guy approach. But it has a lot of interesting ideas that do make this entertaining and engaging and interesting. It just feels maybe a little overlong, a little overstuffed, maybe a little too much it's trying to do. But in the end, it's still an entertaining and interesting approach to this idea, exploring some very relatable and engaging themes throughout. But those are my thoughts on the Radleys. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.